Welcome to the After Spin. Additional comments from our panelists just available on our website. I want to ask you, what do you wish you had said on last week's show, but you didn't? Brad Crone, I'll start with you.
Well, Tom, during the commercial break, we were talking about the insurance stability provision on the healthcare reform legislation. And one of the comments that I made, I think you'll see a bipartisan effort. I don't think you'll see Trump care get through. There's going to be a collapse in the Senate. So what will they do? The fallback position more than likely is going to be a bipartisan effort with some Republicans, more moderate Republicans, on providing insurance market stability, which is actually basically the federal government stabilizing the financial
the healthcare exchanges
of the exchanges so that they can get to market next month. The timeline that they're facing is they have to start underwriting for contracts in January next month. So that's the deadline that they're feeling the pinch on. And that's what I think you'll see.
John Hood, what do you wish you said on last week's show?
Well, I'll pirouette right off of what Brad just said. My prediction, and it may be wrong, occasionally I get it wrong, that they will end up passing a more comprehensive bill is precisely based on what Brad just said. You go to some of these conservative Republican senators, you say, you know, if y'all don't go along with this some version of this bill, what you will actually get is Senator Schumer's bill with some Republican moderates supporting it, which is basically to bail out the Affordable Care Act exchanges. Is that what you want? Now, some of Rand Paul and some of the other members may say, sure, okay, whatever, I don't know. But I think they might say, well, we better pass something and not let the minority leader determine what the Congress does.
Interesting. Chris Fitzsimon, tell us something we don't, what do you wish you'd said on last week's show?
I already did that. I mentioned that I think it's 17% of the American people support the Senate bill. I think that one of the most interesting things about this, not only is it health care for people who can't afford it, especially people on Medicaid, and Brad referenced this earlier, it's hospitals, it's nursing homes and rest homes. In North Carolina, for example, I think it's more than 2/3 of Medicaid expenditures go to seniors to pay for care for seniors and people with disabilities. They don't make up the most number of people, but they're far and away the most expensive people. So when you have a massive cut in Medicaid, that's who's going to get cut. And I don't think politicians want to come home and say, we've cut funding for kids who are disabled and seniors who are on Medicaid who are in nursing homes. That's why this is so complicated.
John says they will. What do you wish you'd have said on last week's show, Becky?
Well, clearly we could have talked much longer about the health care issue because I'm going to follow up on that as well. What I didn't get to talk about was how whatever they do in Washington, whatever the national plan is, how it will affect Medicaid in North Carolina. We had pretty comprehensive Medicaid reform a couple years ago that is going to play out over the next several years.
Still hasn't been totally approved.
Exactly. And so what happens with the new plan? How does that impact us here in North Carolina with how we implement Medicaid here? What is the impact going to be not only on people that are covered under Medicaid, but also our state budget? You know, that is the fastest growing part of our state budget. Right. And what we see coming from Washington and how that's going to affect us is going to have widespread.
About $3 billion of our state budget,
right.
Even with the federal match.
And yeah, well, when you put the federal money in, you're talking about $14 billion. Yeah. Big part of our economy and something clearly that's going to have an impact here for us.
Well, thanks for watching the After Spin. We'll have more video all during the week on ncspin.com.